Hey everybody, this is Jessica from Pug Stitches Knits. I am here today to show you how to do a yarn over. Yarn overs are very simple. In fact, they're so simple that beginners always mess them up because they think there's more to it. So when we're doing a yarn over, we're going to use the yarn in around the right needle, but we're not going to work any of these stitches like we usually go in and work it if we're knitting and purling. No stitches are worked during a yarn over. They work before and after it according to your directions, but not during. So my pattern says to knit 2 and then do a yarn over. I knit my 2. And for the yarn over, I'm just going to bring the yarn the way I usually wrap it, so in between the needles and around. And that's it. That's my yarn over. Nothing else. I don't knit the next stitch. I don't purl the next stitch as part of my yarn over. All I do is bring the yarn around. That's my yarn over. Done. Then I look at my pattern. My pattern says a knit 2. So then I knit 2. And then if my pattern says yarn over again, I yarn over, and that's it. So if we look, you can see a yarn over kind of looks holy like that. There's my yarn over. There are my 2 stitches that I was told to knit, and there's my yarn over. So make sure when you do it, you don't do an extra knit stitch and then you have 3 in there, because that happens a lot. And then people are like, I don't have enough stitches to do what the pattern says, and that's because they've done a knit as part of their yarn over. So I have my knit 2, yarn over, knit 2, yarn over. Now I'm going to keep doing whatever my pattern says. We'll just assume it says a knit 2. So I knit 2. That's my yarn over. That's it. Then I knit 2. Yarn over. So this is a yarn over between 2 knits, or it might be between 2 knit 2s together, but some type of knitting. And so that's the most common one, but there are other yarn overs, which I'll show you in a minute. Okay, I'm just going to knit. It says a knit to end. After that, we'll pretend. Okay. So when we're going back, I'm going to be purling back. I'll show you what the yarn over looks like when I get to it. I knit 3 at the end there. So here's my yarn over. See, it's just kind of a big loop. So I want to make sure I don't accidentally pop it off and drop it. I need to leave it on my needle and just work it however the instructions say. So if they say purl back across, you would just purl it. So there's my knit 2. And there again is my yarn over. So I just go in like to purl and purl it. My knit 2s. There's my yarn over. So yarn overs are easy to fall off the needle, and the other thing that can happen is if I'm doing a pattern where I'm putting in markers. If I have a marker right here next to my yarn over, guess what can happen? The yarn over can flip over from one side to the next over the marker. So if my marker is supposed to be here, it could end up here. So just be careful if you're doing any repeats with markers that you check and make sure your marker stays where it's supposed to be. So you can look at the line before and say, okay, which side should my yarn over be on my marker? Because that does happen sometimes. It'll flip over your marker if it's right next to it. And that can get confusing. All right. So a yarn over is a decorative increase. So there's my yarn over. I'm just working it across. And so it creates that lacy decorative hole. So you can see there's my yarn over. Those are my 2 knits, 1, 2. My yarn over, my 2 knits, my yarn over. Now we can do yarn overs between any stitch. We just have to be careful. So say it tells me to do a yarn over here and then purl. So I have to be careful. I brought my yarn to the front, but if I purl here, there's no yarn over because we bring our yarn to the front when we purl. So I have to bring it to the front and wrap it all the way around back to the front to do my purl. And then now I have a yarn over there. So if I'm going from a purl to purl and I want a yarn over, I bring it around my right needle and in front. That's my yarn over. And then I purl. And if we check, you can see there's the yarn over. So I purl, bring my yarn around in front, and do my purl. So now if I want to do a yarn over from a purl, which I've just done, and my next stitch is a knit, my yarn's already in front. So if I just leave the yarn without bringing it in between the needles, it creates that yarn over, which is what, again, beginners do by mistake a lot of times. And you can see the yarn over, and because you're just going, not wrapping it all the way around, you want to keep that one a little loose. So it's a similar size to the other ones. Because see how it tends to be a little tighter if you're going from a purl to a knit. So I just loosen it up a little. I'm going to knit. I have one more. Now I'm going to go from a knit to a purl. So remember, I bring it in front just like I would to purl, but that's just what we would do regularly. So if I purl, there's no yarn over. So I have to bring that yarn, when I'm coming from a knit to a purl, I got to bring it in front, all the way back around in front. So basically, if I'm looking at my pattern, and my next stitch is going to be a purl, I need to make sure my yarn is in front. So it's already in front because it's a purl, but if I was knitting and it wasn't back, I have to bring it in front. So I have to make sure if my next stitch is a purl that my yarn is in front, and then it's wrapped around the right needle and brought to the front again. So I bring it to the front, wrap it around the right needle, and bring it to the front again before I do a yarn over where my next stitch is a purl. So if my next stitch is a knit, I just have to bring the yarn in front. So if I'm going from a knit to knit, my yarn will be in back. And I just bring my yarn in front and knit the next stitch. If I just did a purl, my yarn is already in front, so I just leave it in front instead of normally I would bring it in between the needles to the back. I just leave it in front and do my next stitch as a knit, and then again I just double check, and there's my yarn over, and my pattern says a knit to and yarn over. So as I'm going, I can check. There's my yarn over, my knit to, and my yarn over. So check as you go and make sure you have the right number, because if you don't, then something happened. All right, and there you go. Those are yarn overs. Thank you very much. Have a great day. If you have any questions, let me know. And I am Pug Stitches Knits. I'm Pug Stitches on Ravelry and Pug Stitches Knits on any other social media. Have a great day. Take care. Bye-bye.